Hey, Luke, let's talk about Samsung phones.
Yeah.
And the differences between them.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow phones closely, you'll understand that there's quite a few that Samsung announces throughout the year.
Yeah, they have a lot.
If you follow it really close, you kind of know the difference between.
Sure.
But not very many people do that.
Right.
So we're going to talk to the person who says, I don't know the difference between all these different models.
Yeah.
And
which one do I pick?
yeah. So what's the Galaxy S, whatever, and the Galaxy A? I don't know the difference.
And there's a Z.
Yeah. So let's just kind of boil it down a little bit.
Sure.
And kind of just point people in the direction of what they might want to consider. This isn't going to be exhaustive, talk about every specification.
No.
Where to find them, the key differences. We're going to broad stroke this thing.
Yeah, kind of what does Samsung look like in spring of 2022?
Exactly.
Sure.
So there are three lines of phones. There's the Galaxy S, which is your flagship series. That's going to be the one that gets all the fanfare, the advertisements, promotions. You're going to see it tied to a lot of carrier commercials when they're announced.
Yeah.
The Galaxy A is going to be your mid-range and entry-level phone, which for a lot of people is just as capable.
Sure.
Then there are the Galaxy Z models,
Yeah.
which are broken into currently there's a fold and then there's a flip.
Yeah.
So let's start at the top.
Okay.
And do the Galaxy S. So the flagship line for people, this is going to be what you want if you're looking for the latest, greatest, cutting edge technology.
Yep.
Sometimes features that you may not even take advantage of or see. Sometimes you're going to find that these are 2 to 3 years before it becomes kind of like mass adoption across other phones.
Yeah.
So currently we're in the spring of 2022, which gives us the Galaxy S22 series.
Yes.
And some of the key things between them or across from each model, these are going to have much faster chargers or charging capability as compared to the Galaxy A and some of the entry-level devices.
Yep.
For instance, the 22, which is actually broken into 3 models, 22, the 22 Plus, and the Ultra.
Right.
They're going to have super fast charging, and they're also going to have a technology called wireless power share, or that's a Samsung term, but there's reverse charging, which gives you the ability to do what?
Charge another device from that phone.
Yeah. So what would you charge if you have a phone that has that?
Bluetooth headphones, maybe a portable speaker.
Yeah. Something that can charge wirelessly.
Mm-hmm.
You can put it on the back of the phone and share the battery that's on that. The 22 is going to also have a high capacity battery. Across the board, you're looking at 3,700 milliamp hours up to 5,000.
Yeah.
And you're going to get on some of the models 45 watt charging, which is really fast.
Very fast.
Whereas, a few years ago, a fast charge would have been 18 watts.
Yep.
45 starts to push that into, very quick. Capacities they are efficient. They're high capacity, but when you plug it in, you get this quick charge after just a few minutes. You'd be surprised at how much time you get out of that.
Sure.
These are going to also be more of your higher end design. These are going to have aluminum. They're going to be IP68 rated, which is, for people who don't know,
waterproof.
Yes. So that's some of the common features between the 22 series. Another one is ultrasonic fingerprint, which is right in the display itself. And then at the high end of the 22, which is the Ultra, it has some capability that the other phones do not have.
Right.
Which is
Stylus. Yeah.
So some of you may know there used to be the series called the Galaxy Note.
Yep.
It's no longer the case.
Yep.
Because the 22 is basically 3 models now instead of 2. And you have the ability to do the S Pen, the digital stylus. You're going to get 3-4 cameras on the back of these. They're going to be high end. You're looking at 50 megapixel wide on a couple of them, 108 megapixel on the Ultra.
You're going to have zoom, ultra wide.
Yeah. So very capable stuff. Big screens. You're looking at 6 inches up to 6.8.
Yeah.
And then you've also got storage capacities of around 128, 256.
Yeah.
And then on the high-end model, you also have a 512 and a full terabyte of storage.
Yeah.
So that's the high-end stuff.
Power users.
These are power users.
Cutting-edge technology, people that want the new.
Yeah. Everybody else shops from a different department.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the Galaxy A series for Samsung, which actually does really well. Some of their models are among the most popular phones sold
by them. Yeah.
And it's you would think, oh, it's got to be the flagship, but a lot of people don't have flagship money.
Sure.
So before we move on to the flagships, you're looking at starting prices of about $850.
Yeah.
Up to $1,200 or more, depending on your storage.
Right.
So the Galaxy A is going to come in, and there are a couple of different models. There's a A53 5G. There's an A13. There's an A13 5G, and there's an A03. Some of the things in the A series, you're going to find the price point drops down considerably.
Sure.
Probably by half. So you're looking at a starting point of about $160 up to about $450.
Yeah.
Storage memory, these are going to be a little bit lower. But again, for some people, if they don't know.
Right.
Yeah. How much storage you have on your phone? I don't know. What are you using it for? Play some games. I do social media, take some pictures.
Right.
Make sure I can keep up with my email. Any of these phones are going to do that.
Yep.
So a couple of other things. Some of these models are going to have microSD storage.
Yeah.
Which is nice because the internal storage comes in lower at, say, 32 gigabytes.
Sure.
Or 64 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah.
MicroSD gives you the ability to go up to, I think, a terabyte on some of them.
Yeah.
Still going to have multiple cameras. Some of the models will be 5G, and Samsung does a pretty good job of putting that in the model number.
Yeah.
The A13 specifically, you'll see a 5G and a 4G version. And that, is going to vary based on where you get it.
Sure.
Some of them, if you buy them unlocked, you'll get it from Samsung directly or Best Buy. But some carriers will have some of these phones.
Right.
And you'll know which version you're getting.
Right.
Another thing with the 53, and this is, at $450, it's about half the price of the flagship. One of the cool things about that is it's got a big screen. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery, and it has support for 4 years for software updates.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah.
That does come with the flagship series, so this kind of is right at the upper mid-range.
Yeah.
And it's going to give you 5 years of security updates as well. So that's the A. And you're looking at, again, right now, from about 160 to about 450, maybe less if you trade your phone in.
Sure.
Samsung does a good job of trading or allowing trade-in of existing devices for that. Luke, let's talk about the Z real quick.
Sure, yeah.
So what is the Z?
So the Z is kind of, it's that, it's almost flagship adjacent where you're going to get those high-end features. You're going to get the new cutting-edge technology, as far as spec-wise in the phone. But then, where they push the envelope is actually the design of the handsets themselves. So the Z series specifically has folding screens.
Right.
So the flip will fold out like a clamshell, like an old-school flip phone. But when it flips out, it's just a flat candy bar style screen that we see on most of our modern smartphones. And then the fold is like a book. So it opens up like a book. You'll have a regular smartphone screen outside, but then when you open it up, it's kind of like a mini tablet. You got a bigger real estate screen for web browsing, emailing. It has support for the stylus. So you can do doodles and take notes, stuff like that. So the Z series is kind of like, hey, if you want the new technology, you want that cutting edge, but you also want to maybe try a different form factor, something completely new.
Right.
You have these folding screens, and like I said, they have high refresh rates, bigger capacity batteries, nice cameras,
right,
good amount of RAM, all that kind of stuff.
Just in a more bespoke design.
An interesting form factor.
Yeah. So price-wise on those currently, you're looking at about what?
$1,000.
Yeah.
Between both models. If you want a little bit more memory, maybe $100 more, doubles the memory in the Fold.
Right. So you're kind of paying for the privilege of this form factor.
Yeah.
And when you compare that to, the actual hardware and line it up here, it's still going to push the boundary of upper mid-range into premium kind of device. So the Z is currently in its third generation. So we're in the Fold and the Flip. It's not one that looks like it's going to go away.
No. And they're both 5G capable.
Yeah. So that's I would say, as you said, flagship adjacent. If you're looking for the form factor, there's only a few phones out there that do these types of things. Yeah. Samsung happens to offer both form factors.
Yeah.
The designs.
Yeah. Other manufacturers have some, and there are others that have been teased or coming out or rumors or whatever. So the folding screens are, I think, here to stay.
Yeah. So when it comes to finding all of these phones, the S is going to be ubiquitous.
Yes.
When they announce the phone, it's pretty much every major carrier, a lot of prepaid, even some of your MVNOs are going to offer them, different versions of them. And then you're also going to find them at retailers unlocked. You can, get them at Best Buy, Target, Walmart. Some of those will actually
just buying them outright.
Yeah. And then the A is going to be generally paired with different carriers, but you can also find them unlocked. Buy it direct to consumer. And then the Z is going to kind of vary based off of carrier.
Yeah.
And then if you want to buy it direct from Samsung as well.
Right.
So hopefully that clears things up for you and at least gives you an idea as to what all the noise is.
It's hard when you're looking for a phone and you see Samsung. It's like, well, wait a second. What's the difference between the A and the 22 and the,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so like, obviously last year's model's a 21. If you can get your hands on that, that's going to be less expensive. It's going to be pretty close to what the 22 has.
Yeah, still a lot of, great features in it. It's just not as good as the 22.
Yeah.
A lot of those same features, though.
Yeah, and then the same thing with the A. You'll find that the model number kind of moves up incrementally a little bit. So if there's the 13, you can find there's a 12, which would be similar. Last year's model if you want to save a couple bucks.
Yep.
So hopefully that helps you out and gives you an understanding as to what Samsung looks like in the spring of 2022.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.